Hello everybody, it's Vaultboyhunter with Magic Gathering Strat. I'm going to go ahead and finish up my cube. Tonight I'm going over it with you guys. I'm going to go over artifact creatures. There's a couple colorless creatures, but they're just Eldrazi. Um, and mana fixing in the form of artifacts, and odds and ends, equipment, that type of stuff. Then lands, those are pretty much all cycles, so I'm going to go through those really quick, and then I'm going to go over tokens. I'm actually going to start with the tokens. I have full token support, excluding one Rakdos Guild Mage. There's no token for it. It's a 2/1 Goblin with haste that exiles at the end of turn. And it's from original Ravnica. It's before Wizards started to print tokens and packs and all of that type of stuff. So I don't have one. So, which is a shame. I'm going to have to probably proxy them at some point, unless it gets reprinted in a Modern Masters at some point. But anyway, so tokens. I got a big stack of tokens because my cube is so token heavy. And every time I get a new creature or a new card that can produce a token, I make sure I get the tokens to go with it. So to start out, some humans. And then after the humans are quite a few, for some strange reason, Kithkin soldiers. I think because I have the Sin's enlistment cat soldiers, even though I'm pretty sure I took the cat soldier producer out. It was one of the heroic white cards. After cat soldiers, I've got some warriors. Come out and play. Okay. After the warriors, I got some soldiers. Good old soldiers. Got me some white birds. 1/1 flying birds. I have some spirits. I think I have some more spirits. Yeah, they're just a little mixed up. I have some knights. Good old vigilant knights. And then a lot more spirits. A lot more spirits. A lot more. Wait, like spirit tokens. Okay. After, no, that's all the white. We got some blue. We got some drakes. Some 2/2 flying drakes. Next is some enchantment 2/2 flying birds. See, they're enchantment creature birds for Rise of Eagles. After that, we have some Jin monks for Ojutai summonings. That's it for the blue. Blue doesn't really make too many tokens. Goblin rogues for something or other. I'm not sure. I can't remember why. A couple spiders for Penumbra spider. A couple bats. Black bats for that card with haunt. That white card with haunt. Germs. A couple germs. The beloved zombies. Black's beloved zombie creature tokens. Okay, moving over to red. Red is another card with a decent amount of soldiers, or tokens. It's got some soldiers. 1/1 soldiers. And then elementals, I've got a bunch of different elementals because the ones that actually go with Young Pyromancer are expensive. Yeah, this is one of them. They were like $1 a piece at one point because, I don't know, Wizards needs them. So I also have that guy. He's got XX. He's not for Young Pyromancer. He's from something from Zendikar. But I figure he's an elemental, so that's easy enough to keep track of. I don't have the whatever card it is that produces the XX ones in here. After that, we move over and I have some bullmen, some minotaurs, 2-3 minotaurs. And then I have probably my favorite goblin art. I have the Khan goblins. Khan goblin, little monkey goblins. After the Khan's goblins, I have green, I have snakes, and wolves, and elephants, and I have a whole bunch of sapperlings, whole bunch, like a million sapperlings. Some of them actually are from the dual deck, so they have the actual back instead of, actually they're all from dual decks, aren't they? Because they all have the actual back. Most of the tokens have the tips on the back, but you can tell if they came from a dual deck because they're actual magic cards instead of tip cards. So I don't know how I ended up with all of them from the dual deck. I must have bought them that way. A couple bears for the teamwork card that produces a 4/4 bear's companion, I think. A couple elementals for Walker of the Grove, 4 elementals. 3 centaurs for the Selesnya centaur card. I can't remember the name of it right now. Call of the Cavalcade or something. Over to colorless. Got some shapeshifters for crib swap. Not that I would need this many, but I just have them. And then some mirrors for, I think I have one card that produces mirror token. So got some mirrors. Got some golems or maul splicer. Golems. And the newest addition are the Origins Thopters. I got 4 of that art. I got 4 of that art. I got 5 of this art. I don't know where I picked up the 5th one. Maybe I bought it because I know I went in and got a couple cards from my local game shop that I don't go into because the guy who runs it is not enjoyable to be around. Manifest, a couple manifests. There's not a lot of manifests in here, so I don't have a lot of them. Morph, a few morphs. Morph creatures die, so I don't like. I should get more, at least enough to have one of every morph, but they just die so damn quick. And last token, Eldrazi Spawn. So that's all the tokens. Decent amount of tokens. So we're going to go over artifact and colorless first. Actually, I'll just get the 2 colorless out of the way. First one is Artisan of Kozilek. Not an artifact creature, but I love this dude. Ever since I played Tron and Silverblack when that was still a format. I'm sad to see Annihilator leave. But hopefully we'll get some common and uncommon Eldrazi with it, whatever the new mechanic is that will go in here. Ulamog's Crusher. Alright, over to artifact creatures. Razor Golem, 3/4 with Vigilance and Affinity for Plains, and a 2 for Flying with Affinity for Islands. Spire Golem, Etched Oracle. For the 5-color, go wide decks. Juggernaut, because Juggernaut smash. Mortarpod, really good in the token decks. Mirror Sire, pretty sure this is the guy that makes the mirror tokens. Hairless Mirror, because The only good mirror is a dead mirror. Player Husk, one of the germ token guys, and good. Bonded Construct is new to the cube. I like him in Fast Aggro. Single Pest with Battle Cry. Over to Equipment. Warhammer. First pickable. Probably always first pickable. Fleet Feather Sandals. I wanted one of the haste flying things in there because it helps out. Bullshock Morningstar, 2/2, 4/2. One moment. Alright, next up is Lightning Graves. I don't really care for Shroud all that much, but at least it's less abusive than Hexproof. That's first pickable probably. Mask of Memory, I've got wrecked by this at least once in the cube. Just that recurring card draw is really good. Speaking of getting wrecked, Skull Clamp. I prefer the original art, but this guy was a little bit cheaper. So, definitely deserves to be banned sort of card. Darksteel Axe, Radiant Longbow, Bone Splitter, probably first pickable. And last is Silvok Lifestaff. I like that guy in aggro a whole bunch. Alright, over to just normal artifacts that don't fix mana. There's not a ton. Crystal Shard. Absolutely love this card. Have loved it ever since Mirrodin block. And it's really good in this with all the enter the battlefield effects that I have built in. Ishran Scepter. This is a build around card because you draft it and then you can just pick whatever 2 casting cost instant you want to put on it. You just strapped a whole bunch of them, go wide. Spellbomb, Nilhai Spellbomb, Pyrite Spellbomb, and Aether Spellbomb. The 3 best Spellbombs in my opinion, and Relic Progenitus. Just for a little graveyard hate. Flexible graveyard hate. Right. So now we're going to go over to artifact mana fixing. So I'm going to do these all at once because they're just like a few cycles. So the first cycle is the Obelisks from Alara block, one of each. So John Devance, Naya, Esper, and Grixis. So next up for mana fixing on the colorless, on the artifacts, is the Talismans from OG Mirrodin. So Dominance, these I don't have memorized. Indulgence, Dominance, Progress, and False Immunity. Those must be played in, some of them must be played in like Commander because a few of them are actually expensive. Not like, oh, that card was expensive, but more than I thought I was going to have to spend. Next up are the Signets from OG Ravnica. So one of each of those. Now these are fixing but not part of cycles. Pristine Talisman, that's not really fixing but it's ramp and the life gain is pretty nice on it. Manolith, Vessel of Endless Rest, Pentad Prism, it's got Sunburst on it. Prophetic Prism, I love that card. Prismatic Lens, Spear of the Suns, Chromatic Star, Chromatic Spear, Mana Silex, and Spring Leaf Drum. Now that's a lot of artifact mana fixing. I want it not to be mana fixing, but at common and uncommon, the power level of artifacts is really flat for the most part. Like after Mirrodin, the first Mirrodin block, they didn't really make a mistake of printing like cards like Loxodon Warhammer uncommon again, or Skull Clamp or any of that type of stuff. So it's hard to fill out for the creature side and all of that. Plus I don't really want super powerful colorless creatures in there because every deck will want to draft them instead of playing towards the strengths of the colors. So it's kind of a delicate balance. So, but that's it for artifacts. So we'll move over to lands. And this is, I'm going to do it by cycle, and then at the very end will be kind of like utility lands and that type of stuff. So first cycle are the guild gates, all the guild gates, one of each. After the guild gates are the, I will probably always refer to them as Karoo lands from OG Ravnica. So one of each of the OG Karoos, or the Ravnica Karoos. They're not the OG Karoos. The OG Karoos are from Mirage, of course. Okay, after the Karoos are the Fabulous lands, or the Game lands, or the Super lands, or the lands I'm going to be sad to see rotate out of Standard Pauper when Cons rotates. Thankfully we have some time before that happens. Okay, next up are the, oh shoot, how many did I get? Next up are the Shard Trilands from Alara block. And then the Wedge Trilands from Cons block. So Trilands and then Trilands. Okay, next up are, now things have gotten a little bit shakier. I guess all of that fixing is pretty decent, without being kind of too repetitive, but it definitely, like, you would draft a guild gate if you're red-blue and a game land if you're red-blue without a problem, even though they have similar functionality. But now we're going to get into some stuff that if I had an alternative, I wouldn't be running them, but I really do like land as fixing as opposed to artifacts as fixing, because you don't have to take up a spot that a card goes in for land as fixing. So I'd rather not run any artifact fixing if I could avoid it, but with this big of a cube, with my emphasis on multicolor, I have to have a decent amount of it, I think, to make people want to play anything with mono red. So these are the Invasion tap lands. Some of them are actually from Invasion because TCG Player, when I bought them, switched it to these and I didn't realize it. I don't care for the old border anymore, but that's just life. So that's what these guys are. Invasion block tap lands. They were reprinted in Modern in M10 or something like that. I can't remember. My brain is too old. Okay, so next up are the only instances of snow from Cold Snap in the queue. Are these guys. These are the Ice Age tap lands from Cold Snap. Not a whole lot of Cold Snap in here because it was an atrocious set. They should have just left Weatherlight as the last set or whatever was there. Homelands, no, forget it. They needed a new one. These are the refuges from Zendikar. Yeah, I think Zendikar. One of those three. The original refuges. So again, a lot of overlap with the new game lands, but not a lot I can do about that. Okay, so moving along, we have another set of 5. We have the panoramas, mostly in here because I think if Landfall goes back in battle for Zendikar, these will be great for it. It looks like we're getting Evolving Wilds again, so like the 3rd time it's been printed in the last year. So it looks like Terramorphic Expanse is not coming back. Not that I don't have it in here, but I was hoping for like new ways that were anything but the fetches to enable landfall, but I don't think we're going to get there. Next up is the Vivid Lands. I love these guys because they're just really kind of nice designed cards. Now over to the utility lands. There's just a few, and then we'll be kind of just wrapped up and all get this rendered and uploaded. So that way everything will just be ready to go whenever the upload schedule will allow. First up is Majoring Network. New card, supposed to be pretty decent and limited, gives you something to do with like that oddball mana that you might have left over every turn, by putting a storage counter on, and then it ramps you in a colorless way, which I find unique. Unknown Shores, so a little filter land. Shivering Grotto, another little filter land. Mirrodin's Core, which is not a storage land because you can only remove one counter at a time, which is a little annoying, but it's kind of like the combination between a storage land and one of the filter lands. But I mean, I have to run as basically whatever I can in Modern, and so I've ran all of the good all the good non-basic lands at common and uncommon, and all of the moderately good non-basic lands in common and uncommon, and I'm not running any of the really crappy ones from like Kamigo or any of that. So, okay, Terramorphic and Evolving, the last two cards. So that's it. That's the whole cube. So I'll get these started to upload, and I'll make sure that I put in the description, I'll put a link to the cube in each video. You guys are more than welcome to come in, draft it, leave me comments, tell me what you picked, pack one, pick one, anything that you think shouldn't be in there, anything that is kind of janky. If anybody wants more information about the cube, unfortunately, a lot of my design documentation was on my old laptop that died recently, so I don't have access to it anymore. But I can kind of talk about it if anybody's interested, because I had kind of a design guideline I went off of that mirrored how Wizards has designed Modern so far, which I found to be kind of a good guideline to go off of. But that's it. I want to thank anybody who made it all the way through all 7 parts. Thank you very much for watching, and you have a wonderful day, night, evening, afternoon, whenever.